Hey y'all, it's Miss Shelly. So this is going to be my very first lesson that I'm going to record the whole way through. So this is going to be a test. Hopefully it works out great. So bear with me and we'll get through this together. So over spring break, we went up to Georgia. We left as soon as school got out the Friday for spring break, and we went up to Georgia for a few days. And with Bear leaving in a couple weeks, we decided to celebrate Grace's first birthday a little early. So instead of waiting until her birthday on April 10th, we celebrated with family and friends back that Sunday right after spring break. So I thought our first lesson and trying to get used to teams, it would be fun if we do a little party planning and use Grace's first party as an example. So I thought I would share a little bit of pictures with y'all and we'll do a little bit of math too. So the very first thing every good party needs is decorations. So here's some of the decorations that we used on Grace's party. Let me see if I can zoom in. This is a big photo backdrop that we hung up on our friend's window. This is a little tablecloth that I turned into a watermelon. I know, not the best. Up here, Brandon and I, or Bear as I call him all the time, made these watermelon out of balloons. It was very difficult. It took a very long time. Over here, my mother-in-law, who was great with flowers and painting, painted us a one sign that looked like a watermelon, and then she took a watermelon and put flowers in it, which was really sweet. And then here's a picture of the three of us right before the party started. So now that we saw a look at some of our decorations, let's take it a step further and let's do a little bit of math, because you always do math even when you don't realize it. So, like I said earlier, every good party has to have decorations. So, since it has to, I went to my very favorite place to shop in the whole world, Amazon. So, my budget for the party was $100. I started with just these first four supplies to see. So, what we need to do first is we need to figure out, well, one, did I stay within my $100 budget? How can I figure out if I stayed within my $100 budget? Hopefully you just said to yourself, or maybe out loud, you need to add them all up and subtract them from 100. So that's what we're going to do. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to find out, okay, you bought these four things. How much did it cost? So let's add up. So my party supplies for food and beverage, that's like your napkins, your plates, your silverware, all of that cost me $19.99. So let's come over here and let's do $19.99. Now, next I showed you that backdrop. That backdrop cost me $17.78. Next, we bought little favor bags because everyone likes to go home with a little goodie. Those bags cost me $13.65. Finally, we bought some decorations. That included some balloons, that big watermelon slice balloon that you saw that we made out of all those tiny little balloons, as well as a banner, and that cost me $15.99. So now the first thing I want to do is I want to add this all up. So what is 9 plus 8? Yep, 17. What is 17 plus 5? 22. What's 22 plus 9? Good. That is 31. So now I can move on to my next. Let's do, what is 9 plus 3? 12. What's 12 plus 7? 19. Good. What's 19 plus 6? 25. Good. And then finally, what's 25 plus 9? 34. So now remember, super important when you're adding decimals, you need to drop down that decimal. Just like how we pop up our decimal, pop it up, pop that decimal right on up. We need to drop it down. Drop that decimal right on down. So now that we've dropped our decimal, now we can just keep adding. So once again, 9 plus 3 is 12. 12 plus 7 is 19. Good. 19 plus 3. 22. Good. And 22 plus 5. 27. Good. So now we just add up our final. So 2 plus 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6. So in total, for all of these little decorations down here, I paid $67.41. Did I stay within my budget? Yes, I did. I stayed within my $100 budget. Now, what if I want to know how much money I have left over for decorations? Maybe I want to buy more decorations. How can I figure out how much money is left in my budget? Think about it. Hopefully you said I can subtract. What I want to do is I want to take this $100 right here and I want to subtract my total from it. And that'll tell me how much I have left for decorations. So now, before I can write my amount, I need to ask myself, how much, or how do I put $67.41 underneath my 100? How do I line up decimals when I'm subtracting? Hopefully you just said I'm going to line it up by the decimal place. But, hold up, Miss Shelley. That 100 doesn't have a decimal place. So where does my decimal go? Well, I'm glad you didn't ask. But remember, whenever you don't have a decimal, you always have that hidden decimal right behind your number. So now we can line up our decimals. So in my ones place, I have a 7. In my tens place, I have a 6. Behind my decimal, I have a 4 and a 1. So now I am good to subtract. But I can't subtract nothing from 1. What can I do? Behind my 100, my decimal after my 100, with those two blanks? Good. I can put zeros. So now I'm ready to go. First thing before I start actually doing my math is pop it down. Pop it down. Pop that decimal right on down. So what is 0 minus 1? Oh, hopefully you said, wait, hold up. Remember, you cannot subtract a big number, a small number, or a big number from a small number. So I can't do 1 minus 0 because it's 0. So I have to borrow. Well, I can't borrow from a 0. Can't borrow from another 0. Still can't borrow from 0. So I'm going to have to come all the way over here to the hundreds place and borrow from that 1. So I'll put my 1 in front of my 10. Now I'm going to have to borrow from that. So that makes that 9. Put my 1 in front of that 10, borrow from that. That makes it another 9. Put a 1 in front of that 10, that 0, borrow from that. That makes it 9. And finally, I have a number I can subtract from. So what is 10 minus 1? Good, 9. What is 9 minus 4? Good, 5. Now I can keep going. What's 9 minus 7? Good, 2. 9 minus 3? 9 minus 6, 3. So if I wanted to, I have another $32.59 that I can spend on decorations if I want to buy more. In your assignment today, I'm going to ask you a question. We're going to talk about this amount, this $32.59, and we're going to play around with that during your assignment just a little bit more. So remember that and keep up with that number. So now, favor bags, because like I said earlier, everyone likes a little treat. So here are my favor bags that we made for everyone. The adult bag said, thanks, a melon. It was nice to seed you, because a watermelon has seeds. Yes, I know that was very punny. That was not the best, but I thought it was funny. So those are some pictures of her bags that we gave as favors. So just like everything in life, though, there is always math involved, even when you don't realize it. So the night before the party, I went to sit down and make her favor bags, and I realized, well, I had these 3 candies here, 3 pounds of Sweetwater. Oops, hopefully you didn't see that on my screen. My mama was calling. Then I had a bag of 48 lollipops, and I had a box of 36 Airheads. So I needed to ask myself, okay, I have 23 favor bags to make. How much taffy can I put in each bag? So, as it says right here, there's about 200 pieces per this 3 pounds. So I have 200 pieces of taffy and I have 23 bags. How can I figure out how much taffy to put in each bag? Think about that for a second. All right. Hopefully you decided that I needed to divide. I needed to say, okay, I have 200 pieces of candy and I want to divide that by 23 bags. This also should look familiar because basically what I'm doing here is I'm finding the unit rate. I am seeing how much candy will go in one favor bag. So we're going to do the unit rate. Now, how do I find the unit rate? Hopefully remember that to find the unit rate, first you write your rate, which I did. Then you take your denominator and you divide the denominator by both the denominator and the numerator. So you divide both denominator and numerator by 23. 23 divided by 23 equals 1. So that's right. So now I need to do 23 divided by 200. Okay, how many times does 23 go into 2? Good, it doesn't. So I put my 0 there. How many times does 23 go into 20? That 20 is still too small, so that's another 0. So now I need to ask myself, okay, how many times does 23 go into 200? Now, I need to come up with a number. I have a couple things I can do. One, I can just guess and multiply that number by 23 and see if I get close to 200. Or I can estimate my number first. I think that's the best thing to do. So look at your 23 and imagine it's more like 25. How many times will 25 go into 200? Well, we can use our knowledge of quarters. We know that 1 quarter is 25 cents, so I can easily count by 25s that way. So if 1 quarter is 25, imagine if you had 2 quarters, that would be 50. Okay, so 3 quarters, that would be 75. And 4 quarters, that would be 100. So 4 quarters equal 100, and keep going. 5 quarters would be 125. 6 quarters would be 150. 7 quarters would be 175. And 8 quarters would be 200. So, since 23 is less than 25, I know 8 can't go into it. So, let's go down a number. Let's try 7. So, 7 times 3 is good, 21. 7 times 2 is good, 14, plus my 2, 16. All right, now let's just double check. Let's see if we can get 8 in here. What's 8 times 3? Good, 24. 8 times 2, 16, good. Plus 2, 18. Oh, 18 did work. So that's good. That means that I at least can get 8 into 200. Now, let's just double check and make sure that 9 won't go into it. So let's do 23 times 9. What is 9 times 3? Good, 27. What is 9 times 2? Good, 18. Plus 2? 20. Uh-oh. I got a problem. That's 207, but my number is only 200. So it can't be 9, can it? Nope, 9's out. So the closest number to 200 is going to be this 184. So that means that it's going to be 8. So I can borrow from that, make that a 1. Put my 10 here, carry that 1 to that 0. Now borrow from that, make that 9. Gets a little hard to see, guys. Here, let me see if I can switch to another color. 9, and then carry my 1 over to make that a 10. 10 minus 4 is 6. 9 minus 8 is 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. Now, usually when you find the unit rate, you would keep going. And to keep going, you would put your decimal. You would pop it up. Everyone's favorite song. Pop, pop, pop it up. Pop that decimal right on up. You would get your 0 and you would carry it down. However, we are trying to see how much of this candy will fit into the favorite bags. I can't take a piece of candy and cut it up, can I? I mean, I could, but no one's going to eat it. So I just want to focus on my number right there. I just want to focus on that 8. So how many pieces of Laffy Taffy can I put in each bag? I can put 8 pieces because I don't want to go and cut up a piece because no one wants that. Let's be honest. So now my first question is answered. Remember, the book, the FSA, life, they always like to throw multiple answers or multiple questions at you, okay? So make sure that you're fully reading everything so you're answering it. The first question says, how many pieces of Laffy Taffy can I put in each bag? Well, you solved that. That's 8. Now the second question says, how much total candy will go in each bag? Okay, so that's where it's tricky. You have to make sure that you're paying attention and reading everything all the way through. So let's go black. So I know I can put 8 pieces of Laffy Taffy. Hopefully you can see that. So now I need to figure out, okay, well, how many lollipops can I put in each bag? So again, I'm going to find the unit rate. I'm going to say I have 48 lollipops. I'm going to put pops. 48 pops over 23 bags. Remember, to find unit rate, you want to know how much will go in one bag. And in order to find out how much will go in one bag, you need to divide the denominator. And then take that number and also divide it by the numerator. 23 divided by 23 is 1. So now I can come over here and I can do 23 into 48. How many times does 23 go into 4? Good, 0. How many times does 23 go into 48? Well, we may not know that off the top of our head. So let's start. Now, 48 is pretty close to 23, so I would recommend doing 23 times 2. So let's see, what is 23 times 2? Well, 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 2 is 4. Good. I don't think we can get another 23 because 46 is close to 48, so we'll stick with that too. 2 times 23 is 46. 48 minus 46 is 2. Now, the same thing with the Laffy Taffy. I don't want to take a lollipop and cut it into 23 pieces. So therefore, I'm going to just keep my 2. So I can put 2 lollipops in each bag. All right, so now I need to figure out how many airheads can I put in each bag. So let's change our color. Let's go dark blue now. So same thing as before. We are going to use unit rate. We're going to do 36 airheads and 23 bags. Okay, so I want to find out how much is in one bag. Remember, when you're finding the unit rate, you divide the numerator and the denominator by the denominator. The denominator here is 23, so I'm going to divide both the numerator and the denominator by 23. 23 divided by 23 is 1. Now I can do 23 divided by 36. How many times will 23 go into 1? Or 3, sorry, 0. How many times will it go into 36? Well, up here I saw that 23 times 2 is 46. That's bigger than 36, so that won't work. So just one time. 1 times 23 is 23. So now I'm going to subtract. 6 minus 3 is 3. 3 minus 2 is 1. Remember, again, I'm not going to take an extra airhead and cut it up. So I'm going to just leave that 1. So I'm getting closer. Now I know how much candy I can put in each bag. the question wants to know how much total candy will go in each bag. So all we got to do, add it up. 8 plus 2 plus 1 is, hopefully you just said 11. So, remember, when you're taking your test, make sure you read through the questions. That way you're answering everything that needs to be answered. This question had 2 different answers with it. Good. All right, so favor bags are done. Let's see the next part. Oh, the food. Grace's favorite part. We've all seen Grace. We all know the girl likes to eat. Here's some pictures of her eating her first cake ever. As you can see right here, she loved it. She destroyed it. She was getting all in the cake. Look at that. She loved her some cake. Here's some more pictures because I just think it's so funny. And I don't remember eating my first cake because, you're like 1. But watching her eat her first cake, it was just so funny. By the end of it, she had it all over her. And, it was a mess to clean up. So, every good party has got to have food and drinks. Your guests need something to drink and need something to eat. Well, since it was for Grace, we had kids there. So I needed to buy juice boxes for the kids. I need to find out and use my unit rate to determine what brand should I buy. Should I buy 8 boxes for $3.99 of the Honest, or should I buy 10 juice boxes for $3.29 of the Capri Sun? Just like we did on the last problem, we can use the unit rate to find out how much one juice box will cost. So, remember, when we're doing unit rate, usually the number that comes first is the number that goes in the numerator. But there's one little exception when it comes to unit rate. And that is, hopefully you all just told me the price. The price always, 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 always goes in the numerator. So, put my price in my numerator. I'm going to put my juice boxes in my denominator. Just like we talked about on the last problem, in order to find unit rate, we need to divide the numerator and the denominator by the denominator. My denominator here is 8, so I'm going to divide both numerator and denominator, by 8. 8 divided by 8 is 1. That leaves me with 1 box. So now I need to divide 8 into my price, so I can find out how much one juice box cost. Remember, when you got that decimal, make sure hopefully you're singing along, pop, pop, pop it up, pop that decimal right on up. Good. I really hope you sang out loud with me right there. So, how many times will 8 go into 3? None. It's smaller than 3. It can't go into it. So now, how many times will 8 go into 39? Hopefully, you said 4. 4 times 8 is 32. So now I'm going to subtract 9 minus 2, 7. 3 minus 3, 0. So I'm going to bring my 9 down. How many times does 8 go into 79? 9. Good. 9 times 8 is 72. 9 minus 2 is, again, 7. 7 minus 7 is 0. Now, I'm dealing with money, so at this point, I can stop. There's only 2 places after my decimal, so I don't need to go any further. So, if I buy my Honest juice boxes right here, I'm going to pay 49 cents for one juice box. Okay? Which doesn't seem bad, right? I mean, that's less than 50 cents. But now I need to see, okay, is it cheaper to buy Capri Suns at 10 boxes for $3.29? So I'm going to change colors. So remember, my price always goes where? In the numerator. So $3.29 over 10 boxes, we'll say. So to find unit rate, remember, you always divide the numerator and the denominator by the denominator. 10 divided by 10 gives me 1 box. That's as long as I have 1 in my denominator, I know that I've done my unit rate right so far. So now I just need to divide 10 into $3.29. So I'm going to pop it up, pop that decimal right on up. Good. And now I can start dividing. 10 goes into 3 0 times. 10 goes into 32 3 times. 3 times 10 is 30. 2 minus 0 is 2. 3 minus 3 is 0. Bring down my 9. Okay, how many times does 10 go into 29? Good, 2. 2 times 10 is 20. Now, just like before, I can stop here. I don't need to keep going. So, 1 juice box of the Capri Sun only cost me 32 cents. So, now we can compare. What's a better deal? Is it cheaper to pay 49 cents for a box or 32 cents for a box? Hopefully you just told me that it's a lot cheaper to buy 10 boxes for $3.29. Now, let's talk about something right here. We've talked about this a little bit in class. Remember, anytime you divide any number by a power of 10, a power of 10, remember, is 10, 100, 1,000. You don't actually have to do this long division. No, you don't have to do it. You can count your amount of zeros. I got 1. Since I'm dividing, I know my number's going to get smaller. So my decimal is going to go to the left. How many times does it go to the left? Well, how many zeros did I have? 1? Good. So that means I'm going to move it to the left 1 time. So that gives my final answer of 0.32, which I got right here, 0.32. I always like to mention this because I feel like it's something that we forget a lot, but it does make it a little faster if we don't have to do the whole long division over here. And every time it comes up, I'll go through it and remind you of this just like I do in class. All right, so now the drinks are done. Now let's talk about food. People gotta eat, right? So I need to decide, is it better to go Subway or is it better to go Jersey Mike's? Oops, that should say Jersey Mike's. Sorry, guys. So Subway, I can get a tray for 11 people for $36.49. At Jersey Mike's, I can get a tray for 15 people for $59.65. Once again, we got to use that unit rate. So let's start with Subway. We'll start green. Just like before, your price always goes in your numerator or your denominator? Good, your numerator. So $36.49 over 11 people. Remember, when we find unit rate, we always divide both the numerator and the denominator by the denominator. 11 divided by 11 is 1. There is 1 people or person. Miss Conley and Miss Troop would kill me if I didn't write the right word. So I have a 1 in my denominator. I am doing something right. So now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to divide 11 into 30. You know what? Let's just make this correction so I have some room. So let's do 11 into $36.49. Just like before, pop it up. Pop that decimal right on up. So how many times does 11 go into 3? Good, 0. How many times does 11 go into 36? Perfect, 3. 3 times 11 is 33. 6 minus 3 is 3. 3 minus 3 is 0. Bring down my 4. How many times does 11 go into 34? Good, 3. 3 times 11 is 33. 4 minus 3, 1. 3 minus 3, 0. Good, and now bring down that 9. How many times does 11 go into 19? just once. So, at this point, just like in the last problems, I'm still dealing with money, so I can stop at this point. I don't need to keep going. So, one sub is going to cost, for one person, it would be about $3.31. Okay? So now let's see what's a better deal. So for Jersey Mike's, it cost $59.65, and you're going to have 15 people you can feed. Remember, when you're finding unit rate, you always divide the numerator and the denominator by 15. 15 divided by 15 is just one person. I got a 1 in my denominator. I'm doing something right. Okay, I'm going to go back and just erase this a little bit so I have some room here. So now I have 15 divided by 59.65. Just like before, pop it up, pop that decimal right on up. All right, so now I need to decide how many times does 15 go into 5? Good, 0. What about 15 into 59? I don't know about you, but I don't really know my 15 facts that well. So let's pick a number to multiply 15 by. Let's start with 3. 3 seems like a good number. So let's do 15 times 3. 3 times 5, 15. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4, 45. Do you think we can get another 15 into 45 without going over 59? Ooh, I'm going to say probably not. So I say we'll stick with 3. So 3 times 15 I know is 45. Let's subtract. 9 minus 5 is 4. 5 minus 4 is 1. 14 is less than 15, so I'm all good. Bring down my 6. Now, how many times will 15 go into 146? Ooh, I need to pick another random number. Let's jump up. Let's try 7. 7 times 5 is 35. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 3 is 10. Oh, Michelle didn't go high enough. All right, so let's jump then to 9. 9 times 5 is 45. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 4 is 13. Oop, I think I got my magic number. So 9 times 15 is 135. 6 minus 5 is 1. 4 minus 3 is 1. 11 is less than 15, so I'm on the right track. Bring my 5 down. How many times will 15 go into 115? Well, I know over here I found that 7 times 15 is 105, so that's a good number. 7 times 15 is 105. 5 minus 5 is 0. 1 minus 0 is 1. 0 minus 0 is 0. So, just like before, I'm dealing with money, so I can stop at this point. So, that leaves me with $3.97. Just like before, I need to figure out what's the best food. Is it cheaper to go with Subway or is it cheaper to go with Jersey Mike's? So let's see. So one person for Subway is going to cost me $3.31. But for Jersey Mike's, one person is going to cost me $3.95. What's the better deal? Subway or Jersey Mike's? Hopefully you told me them $5 footlongs at Subway are the best deal. Because $3.31 is less than $3.95. Good job, guys. Y'all are crushing this. And finally, after you have a decorated house, you have food, and you have drinks for people, you got to find some way to entertain them. So, we decided to go with a bounce house. So, with my bounce house, I had 2 options. All right? What option should I go with? Option 1, I can just buy my own bounce house for $189.96. Or option 2, I can rent a bounce house for $99 a day. and I'll have to rent it for 2 days. So, I already know a little bit of information. First thing I know is this bounce house, the cost is $189.96. For option 2, I know that it's $99 a day. So, $99 a day. I know I'm going to need to rent it for 2 days, so I can take my 2 and plug it in for my day. Now remember, we've talked about this. We always forget this. Anytime you have a number next to a variable and there is no operation, what operation are you doing? I really hope you all just shout it at the top of your lungs. Multiplication. Multiplication. So I'm going to plug my 2. I'm going to substitute my 2 in for my D for days. So I'm going to do 99 times 2. Now, I don't know about you, but sometimes I like to come down here and do it so I make sure I don't mess up. 2 times 9 is 18. 2 times 9 is 18 plus 1 is, good, 19. So, option 2 is going to cost me $198. So what's a better deal? Is it a better deal to spend $189.96, or is it better to pay $198? Well, I don't know about you, but I'm trying to save money. And in order to save money, option 1 is my best bet. It's my cheapest. Plus, think about it like this. Now, I have a bounce house that I can use all the time. Whereas if I go with option 2, I only have it for 2 days. I have to return it. So option 1 is my best deal. Not only is it cheaper, but it just makes sense. All right, guys, I threw a couple more pictures in here for you to see. These are some of Grace opening up some gifts. I really, really like, my favorite is her little zombie face she's making here. Oh, I want to eat the dressing, the wrapping. Sorry, guys, I know you miss my nerdy self. And just some other little cute pictures of Grace because she's just so cute. All right, now we've done our review lesson, and just like next week when we start our actual lessons, after you watch my video, you're going to hop back on over to Teams and you're going to complete today's assignment. But most of all, I want you to always remember, I miss you. I'm missing those smiling faces, and I can't wait to see you again. All right, guys. I'm proud of you for all the great work I know you did today, and I can't wait to see what you come up with in today's assignment. I miss you. Until next time.